guys. So I've been planning on talking about how my bomber is set up for ultra running. So, sorry, just got done. Some of the cool things about this fun activity are you get to be out in the mountains. I'll show you some clips from the run in a second. But anyway, how I have my rig set up. So I have just the stock bomber RR10 AR60 axles, front and rear, plastic housings, just because you're gonna beat them up, they are gonna wear out. I went through two last month. One of them was at Proline by the Fire, completely smashed the diff cover and wore out the axle. This is the first run on the new housing today. I threw an aluminum cover on there. I think that's an RC four-wheel drive. I'm not 100% sure. It's one that I had. But some of the other things that I add to kind of beef this thing up for this stupid run, which is a lot of fun. I went with the Vanquish high clearance knuckles and the Vanquish SMT10 C hubs. So it's a little bit beefier. Just things are going to be bashed pretty hard. You know, you're going to send it off of stuff and it's gonna eventually lawn dart, which is what happens. And then I have this truss here. This is an old deluxe fab truss. I don't even know if you can get these anymore. But I got that truss up front just because that takes so much more of a beating. I made a custom link up here. Everything's nice and out of the way. I also am running the Axial Underdrive HD gear set, front and rear. So having a little bit bigger pinion and smaller ring, however it works out. You have a little bit better mesh, more teeth contact. I learned that one from Del Monte. Jake Wright, he was the one that told me that. And in the back, I'm running the Vanquish anti-rock Curry sway bar to try to keep the torque twist down a little bit. These are the Kit King shocks. Also, I'm running limit straps, and I highly recommend limit straps because you never know. When I first put these limit straps on, the very first run, I had one of these shock bolts come out. And when I got home, I noticed that the shock rod end was sticking down below the trailing arm. And thankfully, I had the limit strap on. So the shock stayed fine. It didn't bend the shaft or anything. It didn't overextend. So that was cool. Definitely like to run limit straps. I probably should run some up front, but I don't. Other than that, oh no, I'm missing a lock ring bolt. I got some Vanquish KMC. I think these are Machete. 2.2 beadlocks, and I've got Proline Hyrax in the G8 compound. Tires, I am running the stock foams. I should be running a dual stage, I believe. But you know what? This is running pretty good for me. So some of the other weird things I did was I moved my battery from the front to the bottom and on either side. So today, because it was a bigger run and I wasn't sure exactly how long it was going to be, I'm running two 4300 Gens Ace Adventure packs. That lasted about 2.5 miles of uphill. So the other thing is I'm running a 3-gear Axial Trans. I am not running the RR10 Bomber Trans. It's a little bit lower weight, gets things down a little bit more. However, it's so low that you can't run the stock skid plate, so I'd make this little skiddy here because I did bash that sensor wire the first run out. What else? I have Rift bump stops on all the shocks just so they don't completely bottom out. I think I'm running 35 weight in the back and 40 in the front. It looks like I'm going to need to rebuild that shock. Looks a little leaky from today's run. I got the Reefs 555 up front. I may put a raw 500 in here. I did pick one up at Proline by the Fire. And then for the electronics, well, that's one of the electronics, is the Reefs. I'm also running a Mamba Max. I made this little battery, or I converted the battery tray into electronics tray. This is another thing you might see popping up here from Scale Metal Supplies soon. I want to make a few more bomber parts because this is really fun to me. I really enjoy just being out in the mountains, man. It's just a lot of fun, especially if you can take the tiny truck. What else? I think that's about it for this. Nothing special. Oh yeah, I got the Vanquish trailing arms. I really like these. So this is a one-piece design. So this rig gets driven hard and abused. That could be a fail point where the rod end meets the trailing arm. So having that one-piece design, they can just take a beating. These probably have about 20 or 30 miles on them. The front is just some custom links that I made, and I welded some tabs on for some cable maintenance. Looks like they are a little bit bent, so I will make some more, maybe after Trail Hero. So that is the truck, that is the setup. How many mah is that? 43, 8,600 mah is what I can stuff in here. Usually I run two 36s for the Scale Ultras, those little 5Ks. I'll run this with a Y connector. What else? So stuff to have. I found this running vest. This is an Ultra Spire running vest. I like it because it's got little tiny bottles instead of a big bladder. I've ran with the bladder before and it's kind of like, yeah, it's no good. So I like these. It does have storage for even more water on those longer runs. You can put more water in there, or what I do is I throw my tool bag in the back, so I have, you know, the 7mm Allen or the 7mm nut driver, a little multi Allen, you know, 1.5, 2, 2.5, and a flathead, because you never know if something gets wonky and breaks. That and a little bag of hardware, so I have axle pins, extra wheel nuts, just miscellaneous M3 hardware, nuts and screws. What else? That's about it. Yeah, that's what I've got set up. So today's run was the last big-ish run before Trail Hero. I'm going to do a little elevation, so I'm here at Santiago Peak. No, not quite. I am at, currently I'm at Four Corners, and it is in a cloud, so that's kind of cool. But, yep, thanks for watching.